Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I wanted to do a video before I get to the next review to kind of be like a, little sneak peek of what the last review I'm going to be doing for this marathon is going to be. So I'm doing my top 20 favorite films. Now, keep in mind, it is very hard to think of my favorite films of all time. It is impossible for me to remember even what I had for breakfast in the morning sometimes, so memory issues doesn't help. But yeah, I've got most of the movies because some of them either I have in a place where it's hard to get to, or I just don't own them on disc. I will say when I get to them, but here we go. Number 20, Heartbreakers. Very fun, extremely funny comedy. Like, one of my favorite comedies I've seen in forever. I tried to go with a lot of different genres, but yeah. Sigourney Weaver, Jennifer Love Hewitt are fucking hilarious. They work so well together. They're con artists. Like, Sigourney Weaver is the mom. She'll, try to get the like a rich guy to fall in love with her, and then she'll make Jennifer Love Hewitt make the guy cheat, and then she gets a big sum out of it. It's very interesting, and I really hope more people will watch this. It's worth it just for the ending. Number 19, Sleeping with the Enemy from 1991. This one is subject to change because it is hard to think of movies again, but Julia Roberts does a great job in the film. She really does. She sells this battered housewife. Frickin' Patrick Bergin, fantastic performance. If I can slag off anything, it would be Kevin Anderson, but still, I think it's a super effective thriller. It's very down to earth. It's not overdone, and yeah. Number 18 is Chocolate from 2008. It's directed by Prasya Pinko, director of Ong Bak and The Protector. It is. That film. But yeah, fantastic fight scenes, very interesting story about an autistic teenage girl with martial arts skills trying to pay for her mom's treatment. It's very effective, very fun, and yeah, I really love it. Number 17, I just reviewed this, Awake. Another fantastic thriller, very fast-paced, only 84 minutes with credits. Hayden Christensen proves in this film that he can actually act. Jessica Alba's pretty decent. Terrence Howard is always good. Lena Olin, love her. And yeah, this is a film that got unfairly maligned when it came out, and I don't think it deserves any of the shit that it got. I want more people to watch this movie. I think it's on Plex. Number 16, Mr. Brooks, fantastic murder mystery film. Kevin Costner playing very much against type. I'm always up for that. Demi Moore is alright. Dane Cook, actually pretty good. William Hurt is fantastic in the film. It's about a normal, everyday guy that basically has an alter ego who's a psychopathic serial killer. It's very interesting, it's very tense, it's very scary, and yeah, another one I wish more people would give a chance to. Number 15. I know there are people that'll be mad at this. If I have to pick one of the most effective films I have seen from the past 20 years, it would be this. Because it really hits home, the emotions, the action is actually pretty well done. The cast, Isabel May, the girl here, does such a great job playing this character, and it's not like girl boss or any of that bullshit. It's very down to earth. She plays it very well. I believe her strength. Has some great supporting cast. Has a great... Well, I mean, the villain, played by Eli Brown, is pretty great. But there's also Rodham Mitchell, Thomas Jane, the Punisher. The only Punisher in my eyes. Treat Williams, Barbara Crampton, Catherine Davis. Like, a pretty great cast. And this is my French Blu-ray. I'm trying to get the Spanish one or something. I heard one of them has special features, but the special features are online, so it's not really that big of a deal, but I'm a collector. But yeah, find a way to watch this film. Number 14, Flatliners. This is the Arrow Video release. I just had to have it because I fucking love this movie. This is my favorite horror film of all time. This is the original with just an outstanding cast. Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon, William Baldwin, Oliver Platt. Great music by James Newton Howard. Joel Schumacher does not deserve all the shit he still gets for Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. He's a fantastic director. He just made a couple misfires. People forget shit like Falling Down, Phone Booth, 8mm. They forget that he made those so that they can shit on him. This is a fantastic horror film. It hits my emotions just right. It's actually pretty scary, without falling to just jump scares like the remake did. The remake is a piece of shit. And also, fucking, whatever. I really love this film. I do. I can't wait to see the features on this. Number 13, Babe. This is a childhood one. I don't like it just because of nostalgia. I think it's a fantastic family film. My favorite family film. I just really... Again, this is one that really hits the emotions. And not even just Babe himself. I think James Cromwell and Magda Szubanski do great jobs as well. I wish this had more features, but also this was co-written by George Miller, who did the Mad Max films. He directed the Mad Max films. I think wrote them, I'm not sure. But he also, after that, did Happy Feet 1 and 2, and some other animated film, I can't remember. But, excuse me, I love this film. I really do. Number 12, Equilibrium. Christian Bale, Emily Watson, Taye Diggs. Pretty fantastic sci-fi film. This quote here, like I said in my review, forget The Matrix, this movie will blow you away. I love this movie more than The Matrix. I like The Matrix. Don't get me wrong, I like it. But there are just certain things that I think should have been done better. There are certain acting performances. I think Keanu Reeves isn't that great. I think Carrie-Anne Moss, even though I like her, I do think that her acting does get better as she goes on in her career. So there's a lot of imperfect stuff in The Matrix. I prefer Matrix Reloaded, actually, because I think it has a better pace, even though it's longer. And I think it definitely has better action for me. But yeah, this film has a very unique and very exciting style to its action. It's not an action movie, I wouldn't say. It might have 5 minutes of action in the entire 107-minute running time, which it's more of a sci-fi like thriller. It's more of a character study about this man who is supposed to get rid of people or erase people that have been feeling emotions, and he's starting to feel emotions himself. It's very effective. Christian Bale's best performance, in my opinion. And yeah, I wish Kurt Wimmer had done more stuff like this and not done like Ultraviolet. So yeah. Equilibrium. Number 11, Children of Men. Clive Owen, Julianne Moore, Michael Caine, directed by Alfonso Cuarón. I fucking love this movie. I know this isn't like a unpopular opinion or anything. Most of the movies that are in my top have at least like a 2.5 on Letterboxd. But I just fucking love this movie. I really do. I connect with it. I connect with the main character. I love that pretty much all of the characters are well developed. In movies like this, you tend to be like, oh, only the main character and the villain are well developed. But no. In this film, every character is well developed, and every time a character dies, you actually feel something. And again, this film has some fantastic camera work, some fantastic one-ers that go on for minutes upon minutes, and it's just fantastic. The battlefield scene at the end is a splendor of cinema I don't think we'll ever see again, because nowadays people just cheat that with CGI transitions. They'll like do multiple camera moves and then they'll stitch it together, which I don't find as compelling. That's what Birdman did, and I didn't really care for Birdman that much. I know. I found it kind of boring, and the way that they did it, where in Birdman they like panned the camera up to the sky and then down, like you could tell they cut there. But yeah, fantastic film, great Arrow Video version, or Arrow Academy version, I guess basically their version of Criterion. But yeah, awesome movie. Number 10. I was gonna review this. Maybe I will sometime soon, but I forgot where I put it. Long Kiss Goodnight. Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson, directed by Rennie Harlin. Funnily enough, there's 2 Rennie Harlin movies here. There's also Deep Blue Sea, which I've never seen. I know Thomas Jane's the star of it. I'd love to see it. But yeah, Long Kiss Goodnight. If you want to ask me how a badass female character in an action film should be done, look no further than this. She's a grounded character. She's very interesting. She has one personality that's like a stay-at-home mom, and one personality that's like a hardened killer, and the way that Gina Davis plays both of these is very real, very believable, very interesting. And Samuel Jackson as the comedic relief, he's more than comedic relief. He actually has a character, but he is actually quite funny. He's a real person at point. I think they actually made him a real person. Rennie Harlin does a fantastic job directing the action. This is also one of my favorite action films of all time. Very spectacular action scenes. And yeah, I need to get another copy of this that's just this movie. But I mean, I've never seen Snakes on a Plane or Deep Blue Sea, so maybe I'll have to rectify that soon. Number 9, Overboard. This is my favorite comedy of all time from 1987, directed by Gary Marshall. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn are fantastic in the film. They really sell the roles. Even though it's a bit archetypal, it doesn't really matter because I'm having so much fun. It's literally a laugh-a-minute comedy. And I really got interested in the characters. There's people nowadays that try to make the argument that the film is against women or something, when no, the woman in it's a movie. And the woman in the story is a real rich bitch, and like, just watch the movie. Just watch it. Don't listen to what people are saying. Just watch the film and have fun with it. That's what I say. Number 8. Dragged Across Concrete. Fantastic cast here. Written and directed by S. Craig Zahler. Starring Mel Gibson, Vince Vaughn, Tori Kittles, Michael Jai White, Jennifer Carpenter, Laurie Holden, Fred Melamed, Thomas Kretschmann, Don Johnson. Insane cast. And I love this movie. It's a slow burn. It's 158 minutes, so 2 hours and 38 minutes. It is very long, and I do have to be in the right mood to watch this film. But when I'm in the right mood to watch this film, it is a very engrossing drama, very edge of your seat. It's a slow burn kind of thriller. It's a drama for the first hour and 40 minutes, and then the last hour is a very tense thriller that literally does not let go. It's deliberately paced, I'll say that. I know some people are like, oh, Mel Gibson's in it, fuck that. He's answered for his crimes, he's said sorry a billion fucking times. What do you want from this guy? That was over a decade ago. Let it the fuck go and enjoy his movies. It's not like he raped someone. But yeah, seriously, Dragged Across Concrete, fantastic film. I understand if it's not for you. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to be like other critics and be like, you didn't understand it. It's alright. I understand. It's for certain people. It's not meant for everyone. I'm not saying that in a passive-aggressive way. Number 7. This is the 3-film set, but Walking Tall. Starring Jodan Baker, the first film. It's the first film from 1973. Now, there have been talks about how the film isn't based on fully true events. I could change this, but for now, I think the first film is very engrossing. I've never seen the second and third, but I think it's a very engrossing drama about Buford Pusser, real life lawman who ends up trying to clean up his hometown. He becomes the sheriff, and yeah, it's a very engrossing story. Even if it's not based on true events, there's enough emotional resonance here that really hits home for me. Number 6, The Punisher. Thomas Jane, John Travolta, Will Patton, Roy Scheider, Laura Herring, Ben Foster, Rebecca Romijn Stamos. I mean, now it's just Rebecca Romijn, but fantastic. My favorite comic book film. I know it's not like a superhero movie, so I specifically said comic book film. I think Thomas Jane knocks this performance out of the park. I think he is the perfect Punisher. I like the Dolph Lundgren film. I've never seen the Punisher Warzone with Ray Stevenson. I do own it. I own all 3 of them, but I'll have to watch the Dolph Lundgren one again. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood for it. But I love this film. I think John Travolta plays a very interesting villain in that he's can't even get a hold of himself. I think he's a very interesting one. I like that this 4K Blu-ray ported over the special features. I wish it had ported over the extended cut scenes, because I really do like the extended cut. I really do. I think it adds another layer to the film. But yeah, great action. It's not really an action film, it's more setting up the ending, which I find those types of films more interesting at times. But yeah, this wasn't just your typical revenge film, and I implore more people to watch it. And if you can, the extended cut. Number 5, I couldn't find my Blu-ray. I know it is somewhere, and it's a piece of shit Blu-ray because of the quality, but Hard Boiled from 1992, my favorite action film. This isn't the best poster, but there, Hard Boiled. Fantastic action film, insane action. It never got boring. The story was actually engaging, which is another plus. Chow Yun-fat's a fucking badass. I think it's definitely my favorite John Woo film as well. But yeah, I love it to death. If anyone hasn't seen that and loves action films, I think you'll really love it, especially the last half. The entire last half is awesome. The first half is too, don't get me wrong. But the last half is like straightforward, like insanity. And the fact that the film was made for like $4 million is insane. Number 4, Miracle Mile, Anthony Edwards, Mare Winningham. I love this film to death. Ever since I saw it, like a year or 2 ago. Music by Tangerine Dream, directed by Steve DeHarnot, who hasn't directed a lot. He directed Cherry 2000. I've never seen that. But yeah, he like, for this film, it was one of the 10 best unproduced screenplays. He sold it to Hollywood and then bought it back in order to make it. And it's an insane end-of-the-world romance thriller, and yeah, I don't want to say anymore. It's only 87 minutes. Just go watch it. Seriously, just find it somewhere, watch it. It's insane. Number 3, Battle Royale from 2000, directed by Kenji Fukasaku. This is the Arrow Blu-ray set. Has the original theatrical version of Battle Royale, the special edition director's cut, Battle Royale 2 Requiem original theatrical version, Battle Royale 2 Revenge, which is the special edition director's cut, Battle Royale official soundtrack, Battle Royale trump cards, and it even has this behind the scenes book, which is very nice. I'm so happy to have this. But yeah, every time I've watched Battle Royale, I've watched the extended cut because I like the fixes it makes to the story. I like that. But yeah, insane movie, can never be made in America, other than there's a film called This Means War or something. No, not This Means War. I Declare War, with kids killing each other. But this film did it first. I'll say that. But yeah, this film, basically, Hunger Games was a ripoff of this, and I do mean that. I'm not saying that just to say it. But insane movie, awesome action, and very compelling. Very interesting characters that I actually wanted to live. So, yeah. I'll have to watch this sometime soon. Number 2, Changeling. Angelina Jolie, John Malkovich. Doesn't list anybody else. Directed by Clint Eastwood. This is my favorite Clint Eastwood film, of course, so far. Angelina Jolie gives her best performance, I think, of all time. I know people will say Gia, or maybe even... what's that one? Girl Interrupted. I'd like her here more. It's the true story of Christine Collins, whose son vanishes without a trace. She's reunited with someone who is supposed to be her boy, and then she realizes that the police just gave her a random boy. The LAPD gave her a random boy, and then she's basically thrown into a quest to expose what's going on and find out where her actual kid is. I think this is a very compelling drama, again, masterclass of acting, performances, and yeah, it's very, very affecting for me. And now the last film, this is what I'm going to be reviewing next. I wanted to give a sneak peek to it. Leon the Professional. I love everything about this film. I think Natalie Portman is fantastic in the film, given it's her first acting role. She acts the fuck out of this role. Jean Reno is a fantastic leading man. I wish he had done more films like this. Gary Oldman is a fantastic villain. Danae Aiello is great supporting. I love the really friendly relationship between Matilda and Leon. I've always loved this film. I wouldn't call it an action film. I'd call it more of a drama thriller, or a crime thriller, I guess. There is some action in it, but again, I wouldn't call it an action film. It's more of a thriller. But still, this film is an emotional gut punch every time I see it. I've seen it probably 5 or 6 times now. Not including this next time I'm going to see it, but yeah. Fucking love this movie. If you haven't seen this film, watch the extended cut, the international version, whatever version you want to call it. I think it says on the disc. Yeah, extended version. I think this is the same I love this pop art cover so much. But I do have the other just normal Blu-ray. There is a 4K. I don't remember if the 4K has the extended version. I don't really need it, but yeah, still. I adore this fucking movie, and it's not going to change from my top spot. So yeah, that's all my top 20 movies of all time. Again, subject to change. I changed it quite a bit for this list, so take what you will from that, and hopefully y'all will see my next review, and movie reviewer next door out.